Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And I swear to God, we're turning into the Cracker Barrel channel. Cracker Barrel.
I always go to their store.
You do. You actually spend a lot of money. People are like, you don't even go to Cracker Barrel. I'm like, bitch, we spend a lot of money at Cracker Barrel. We were just there not too long ago, and that's why I keep getting these emails, those desperate emails over the weekend.
Yes.
They're trying to get us to come in for free sides, 15% off store. All this stuff because of this disastrous, quote-unquote, woke rebrand, which now they're walking part of it back anyway. They're not going to change the signage or the logo. They put Uncle Herschel back on the menu. And now we've got another controversy. So this is on top of everything else, right? Now it's coming out that the granddaughter of the guy who founded the company that makes the PEG games said that Cracker Barrel's screwing them over or screwed them over.
So we'll play the video here. I'm going to send it to you. So this girl, I guess she's like the third generation in charge of it. Her grandfather was started the company at the same time Cracker Barrel started their company, since they're in the same area. They're both in Lebanon, Tennessee or whatever. And they worked together to start this company where they made the games. They thought it'd be fun to make games. So they made this company just to make games for Cracker Barrel. So when they turned 50 years at the same time, which was in 2019, they did like a big thing about how, oh, this is our down home, made in America, people that have been with us the whole time. And apparently after COVID, they used to do net 60 for payment. They started asking for quicker payment. A lot of stuff happened. And then just this year, she and her husband are in charge of the company now. And they got informed that they wanted stuff changed because it was offensive. And that if they agreed to change it with, sight unseen without knowing what it was going to say, they could still do part of their business, but it was a small part of their business because they were shipping everything to China.
So I guess it's fair to say that Cracker Barrel bent them over and pegged them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now China's getting all the money. And then because of it, they had to shut their company down. So we're going to let her explain what happened.
Wow, okay. So,
but then the flip side is, people are pointing out, and rightfully so, why did you put all your eggs in the Cracker Barrel basket? Why didn't you diversify?
Yeah, because if you're making games already, I mean, you could pivot to something else. But
but they didn't.
I don't know.
I guess no one's talking about it. She keeps trying to get it out there, but they basically just recently put the screws to the company that made the game the entire time.
Wow. Okay. So this is crazy. I mean, this just gets so much worse, right? So many really bad corporate decisions over at Cracker Barrel. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Now go out to Kickstarter.
We diversify here.
Yeah, we do diversify. We do a lot of different things. Because someday we're not going to do this. We'll do other things, though. Yeah, check it out. Her Glowing Ghouls retro enamel pin set out on Kickstarter. It's only been up for like 2 days, and it's already over $5,000, which means everybody gets a sticker. Everybody gets a sticker.
Yes. So we unlock the free stickers.
And at 10,000, I think we're going to do another pin. I think we might do.
Okay, well, tell them what the sticker is.
Well, the sticker is geeky.
It's me. It's the cute me that he made. Aren't I adorable? Look how cute I am.
And then we're going to convert
the gift of me.
The gift of you. We're going to convert this, I believe, to a pin if we hit 10,000, and then that will be an add-on that people can buy if they want to. They can buy Geeky as a pin. They can have Geeky all over the place. I like Geeky all over the place. Sometimes she is all over the place, and that's okay.
He was just complaining before this video. I just will start talking in the middle of a thought. I do it all the time, and he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I am all over the place. So yeah, so he's going to update this, and he's going to show that what the sticker's going to be later today.
Yeah. We'll get that. It happened overnight, and then if we hit 10, we'll do a pin as well. And I don't know what if we hit 15. I don't know what to do. I didn't know.
We'll figure it out. But now let's talk about what's important.
Figure it out. Let's talk about this. Cracker Barrel. Let's look at this video. I haven't watched the whole thing, so we're going to react to it. But she is not happy. So this is Andrea Kraft. Is that her name? Andrea M. Kraft?
I think so, yeah.
And her and her husband, I guess, are the third generation, well, formerly of the PEG game company. So let's listen to what she has to say.
But before y'all go and run to have your biscuits and cornbread, let me tell you something. 56 years ago, Danny Evans, the founder of Cracker Barrel, and my grandfather, Ollie Qualls, got together and decided it would be a cool idea to put a game on Cracker Barrel's table.
Yes.
The first day Cracker Barrel opened its doors, our games were on their table.
So we're talking, yeah, 50 years. I mean, they started.
It's 56 years because it was 2019 was 50 years. So yeah.
And this is okay. So just a little bit of context here for those of you who, and we talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but there has been additional controversy because the games are not the same. The games are not the same now. They've been quote unquote wokeified.
They've toned it down. Like they used to say like
stupid.
it was a joke that if you couldn't do it, you were an ignoramus, moose or whatever. They spelled it wrong. And then now it's like, oh, well, don't be embarrassed. If you can't do it, try again.
Yeah, you can do it.
And this all started under, when this new chick was rebranding everything. I just want to point that out.
I want to point out, too, because they announced today that they're bringing back the millennial, not millennial like millennials, but the millennial Y2K menu at Taco Bell. And they're bringing back things that I didn't even know were removed from the menu, like the 7-layer burrito, the double-decker taco. These were staples of Taco Bell. So that Julie Messina, whatever her name is, that's the CEO of Cracker Barrel, she worked at Taco Bell too. I'm like, is that when Taco Bell came off the rails? Because Taco Bell got really fucking expensive.
It did. It's only been the last couple years, like few years.
And it's not great because it used to be that Taco Bell historically has been poor college student chow. Like you could go to Taco Bell for $5, you could eat like a king, right? Going back to the 90s. And then in the last couple of years, it's become very gentrified and very expensive. Like their bowls are like $10, $12. They got this new Verde chicken menu or whatever they had and it was like $7 or $8 for a burrito.
Yeah, and they used to do the giveaways like the PlayStations we talked about before, and they don't do that now either. But you're right; it was around the time because she was at Taco Bell before she came over here.
Yeah,
she was at Taco Bell and she was at Yum Brands, which was Taco Bell.
Yeah,
and that's when her time frame there would have been when the prices went off the rails and they started adding all these California-esque menu items.
Yeah, and look, I mean Taco Bell was founded out west, so yeah, they've always had that, but like it was more affordable, and the Taco Bell menu now doesn't feel like gamer chow. It feels like something some hipster Karen would want to, you know what I'm saying? And that's right. So now I'm starting to want connect the dots here. Like, is she responsible for some of this bullshit at these fast food restaurants that people hate? I mean, I know it's all her fault.
Their sales must be down because now they're bringing back old menu items. Aren't they doing a deal with them too?
Yeah, and they were advertising they had like $2 burritos now. Yeah. I'm like, that's the Taco Bell I remember. Like,
they were 79 cents at one point. I remember that.
Oh yeah, the tacos used to be like
when I was in college.
50 cents for tacos. I mean, I used to go when I was broke ass in my late teens, early 20s. I go to Taco Bell, $5. I could eat whatever the hell I wanted. I always got my 7-layer burritos, and they were like $1.50. I think they weren't that expensive.
Yeah, so they're bringing the popular menu items back, and they're having a lower price point on some of these items, because they're some of the items are good that they've brought in new recently, but they're very expensive for like a Taco Bell. Yes. Anyway, that is interesting. We don't know that's her decision, but it was when she was there that the stuff started to creep up. So there's that. So back to this. Yeah, her grandpa started this gaming thing at the same time because he was friends with the Cracker Barrel guy, and they've always made them. It's been like a tradition. It's been and unfortunately they're going to mention it later. It was a handshake deal.
Yeah, let's play this because this is very tragic.
After several years, my dad, Adrian Qualls, took over Qualls & Son Novelties. And my daddy put his blood, sweat, and tears into that company to make it what it was. In 2019, me, Andrea Kraft, and my husband Alex took over Qualls & Son. That also just happened to be Cracker Barrel's 50th anniversary and also our 50th anniversary. They actually brought a whole camera crew into our workshop to showcase us on their social media as a longtime vendor, 50 years of memory.
Wow, that's a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
Well, back then they were all friends here. We have got a deal. Why would they screw us? We've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
With them since day one. We didn't get anything for this, mind you. This was just bragging rights for them. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and let that run. We've
this
been
is
in
where they're
business
gonna
with
play it.
Cracker Barrel for 50 years. I used to come in as a little girl and kind of watch my dad and my grandfather. I feel proud to be part of such a cool family heritage. It is iconic. Whenever people think of Cracker Barrel, they think of the pet game.
And that's coming from Cracker Barrel's own social media.
Right. They brought them in. It's 50 years of us. We want to make sure everybody knows how down home and country we are, and how, we're for the American person. We're for you want to work with, local companies.
Right, right.
Yeah, we're here for it. 50 years of memories and nostalgia. Come eat here because we respect our people.
Yeah. Well,
But they don't now.
They do not now. It's the corporatization of
Alzheimer's kicked in and they forgot everything.
As you can see, it was straight from their Instagram,
Yeah.
their words. Then COVID hit in 2020 and everything changed for everyone.
Yes.
Cracker Barrel would pay us on a net 60, and that just was not working for us anymore. We communicated that to them, and they agreed that they would pay us on delivery. I can probably count about a handful of times that actually happened. We would have to chase our money down for weeks at a time.
So
You know what that's like.
this is every small business owner, unfortunately. And I remember even bigger companies. I remember I was a marketing manager at a company, and I had to make excuses for the company. I didn't know what to tell them, because I was like, they basically just turned the money off, and I know we got a whole bunch of stuff from you, but they will not let me pay you for it. And I know it's been like 120 days, and if it were anybody else, like, we'd be thrown into the collections or whatever. But and they were like shaking me down. They're like, why can't you pay us? I'm like, because they don't give me authorization to pay you. That's the problem. Everything had to go through the front office, and they're like, oh yeah, we're just not going to pay for our marketing shit anymore. I'm like, well, you can't just do that. You can't just say, hey, we're not going to pay for it anymore. Like what I tell these people, like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you don't care.
It was so incredibly stressful. We were having a hard time paying for our people. Yeah. We were having a hard time paying for our supplies. It was a mess. We could never get anybody on the phone to help us. And the only time we ever heard from anybody was when the peg game buyer would send us a nasty email asking where his games were, when they could not even pay us for the games that we had already delivered.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't send them. I'd be leery about sending them stuff. The only problem is, again, it seems like Cracker Barrel was either their biggest customer by far, or that was their only customer, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, this does happen. This is one of the huge mistakes that a lot of small business owners make. We've made this mistake too. I made this mistake, where you rely too heavily on one income source or one client, and then when they change direction, you're kind of fucked. Mm-hmm.
So it's understandable that why this happened, but that's big part of the problem, I think, in this situation.
This past February, Cracker Barrel called a touch base meeting. So we could all get back on the same page. Touch base, their words. We were still ordering supplies, like, lumber is expensive, y'all.
Yeah.
My husband walked into that meeting, and they looked at him and said, I'm just going to cut to the chase. We were told that the wording was too offensive. They told us they were taking our game to someone else to have it manufactured for the gift shop side of the business. Now, please keep in mind, that is 80% of our business.
Yeah, and I'm not like, look, this is horrible that this happened, and they've been working with them for so long, so why would they think they were going to pull the rug out from underneath them? But I mean, just my feeling on that is that is way too many eggs to put in one basket.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, the gift shops, usually the games that are on the table you can buy in the gift shop. Just people know. And a lot of people go buy the peg game because they played it in the restaurant, they like it, they go buy it from the gift shop. So that would make sense that was their biggest business for Cracker Barrel was the gift shop games. Totally makes sense. But they said somebody found it offensive. So now but then why let them do the 20% in the restaurant? Because they were going to have to change it anyway. So my thing is this, if you were already saying it, if you were going to send it to China, why did you even, I guess it was like a good faith to offer 20%, but why couldn't you just let these guys do the whole thing? Talk to them about changing it, and then they probably would have agreed, and then you could have done the whole thing with them, but you didn't.
Because that's not the issue. The issue is if they send it to China, they're going to get it made a lot cheaper.
I
They're
know.
going to get
So
made
they're going to sell the
cheaper in
gift shop
China.
versions cheaper. You're
Yeah.
going to play the nicer ones, and then you're
Yes.
going to buy the cheap ass ones in the gift shop.
Yes. So that's what this is all about. It was about them cutting corners, and people have been talking about, and this would have been, which it was last year? Was it last year? Or
No, it
earlier
was this year, I believe.
So this is when Julie, what's her face, was in full on Karen mode.
Right. She couldn't pay these guys to keep the one thing that was traditional, even if they changed the wording and put a company out of business. But she could hire 3 flippin' ad agencies to come up with that shit ass logo.
A Canvas
3
style logo.
fucking ad agencies. I'm sorry for swearing, but 3 ad agencies.
$700 million.
$700 million.
$700 million.
And your corner you decided to cut was the pay game. So you put a whole business out, that you've just used for your benefit for years, to send it to China to do them cheaper. And getting rid of them was your priority because that was your problem.
Yeah, that's skeezy. Yeah, and you want to talk about them, getting rid of the Americana. I mean, I understand a lot of the stuff in their shop is, made in China. Pretty much everything is, but this is a made in American product. These people have been with you since day one, and that wasn't even sacred. Uncle Herschel's not sacred.
Well, their target audience, their target demographic, love made in America stuff.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, Cracker Barrel, if you wanted to turn it around, you should have as much made in America stuff in your shop, in your Americana shop, as possible, and actually point out the fact. And I don't know if they do or not, but they should point out the fact, hey, all this stuff's made in America. It's all
They
made in America.
should. They should do more made in America things and make it a big selling point. People might not come to your restaurant, but they'll come to your store just to support you because it's made in America stuff. But instead, let's go to China because it's cheaper. Pay 3 ad agencies for something we're going to flush down the toilet and put a company out of business.
Yeah.
Makes so much more sense. What a piece of crap.
There we go.
They said that they would let us supply the games that were provided for the tables if and only if we changed the wording to what they wanted, and then wouldn't even tell us what it would be.
Yeah.
20% of our business, just the restaurant side of the games, was not enough to keep our doors open, and we had to immediately close them. When Danny and my Polly had originally made this arrangement, they did everything on a handshake, and we had absolutely no legal grounds to stand on.
Yeah, see, that's oh god. See, the thing is, back in the day,
that's an implied contract, though, wouldn't it be?
Well, yes, okay. We actually do know a bit about this. Yes, there are implied contracts, which basically, if someone's been operating under an agreement, even if it was a handshake deal, if the agreement is mutually understood by both parties in a court of law, that actually can become an implied contract, right? It's kind of like a common law marriage, where if you're shacked up with somebody long enough that you're basically married because you've been living with them for like 10, 12 years. And we know this because we had an issue with a former business partner of ours where we were operating under an agreement that we both understood the agreement, and then they decided,
we also had all kinds of writing.
We had all kinds of writing, but I mean, in this case, 50 years of history, and they even put on the they probably could sue. But
here's the thing. That's why they probably offered them the 20% to do the ones for the tables. Why would you do that? It was weird. Because if they do that, they can say, we were still honoring the agreement we had started. We just were
for the tables.
For the tables only. And that could have been why they offered something they knew they were going to reject, and it put them out. And they knew they'd reject it. Yeah, I'm making assumptions here. I don't know this for a fact. I'm assuming. This is what, if I'm guessing, this is what might have happened. And then they'd be like, we did try to honor the contract, but they said no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not a lawyer, so don't quote me.
No, but this right there shows you just how skeevy the CEO, the new regime at Cracker Barrel is, that they're willing to toss aside a 50-plus year business relationship just to save a couple of bucks in some games.
Well, they're nearby, so the people that work there would have been in the same area as their corporate office. So they're willing to put local people out of jobs.
Yeah.
To save some money by going to China, but they'll hire 3 ad agencies. And I can tell you that what they charge these agencies is insane, and it's all padded up charge crap.
Yes.
And I know this because Kneon used to work for one.
I worked for an agency. Like, I know what they paid me, but what they charged other people to work with me was insane. I think it was basically $200 to $300 per hour. And trust me, I didn't get paid $200 to $300 per hour, but I had to write my time down increments, 15-minute increments and billable hours. And I got a tiny, tiny fraction of that. And the upcharges were just insane. And
right. And that was just for one. I mean, they were talking 3 agencies, guaranteed major big city agencies.
Yeah.
For this idiocy.
$700 million to fuck up Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, and but they can't pay for the little peg games because one, they're offensive, and two, we want to go to China to save some a few dollars.
Yeah, she's a disaster. They gotta get rid of her.
Unless someone out there hears this and thinks we might. A few months ago, me, my husband, and my dad had to watch all of the hard work, all of the equipment, everything get sold off at auction.
Entire life.
Oh my God.
So even if Cracker Barrel were to come back and ask us to make the game, we couldn't. There's nothing there.
Oh my God.
I truly believe that Cracker Barrel ran us out of business on purpose as an excuse to go to China.
Yep.
I truly believe that the people up at Cracker Barrel right now took advantage of the trust that was built between Danny Evans and my grandfather. I really freaking do. So if you're thinking about going back up there and eating the food that's absolute crap now at this point, remember that. Remember that. And maybe you can tell them how to spell embarrassed. My God.
Yeah, because they sent them to China. The games were, there's misspelling on the...
So 50 years they had this business. It was in their 56. It was in their family. It was everything that she would have known because her dad probably came into it when he was a little older with his dad, but that's all she ever knew. And they had to watch everything get sold because again, you cannot rely on one client. But if some butts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas. So
I know. But it's also why would they think? I mean, it's been this way for 50 years. Why would they think? It's as soon as the original family was no longer involved, as soon as it went corporate, whatever you think, whatever agreements you think you have, throw them out because that corporation is going to try to maximize profit and they're going to look for every little loophole they can. I just ask the authors that worked with Lucasfilm. Mm-hmm. They had these royalty agreements with Lucasfilm, and then as soon as Disney bought Lucasfilm, they're kind of like, "Oh, we owe you money? What? Prove it! Go spend tens of thousands of dollars on a lawyer because we know you're broke ass." And some of you were actually some of these authors were actually in the hospital. Some of them were literally on their deathbeds, and they were counting on that money. And then Disney was just like, "Yeah, well, I don't know what agreement."
When we bought it, we don't have to honor that.
Yeah, what agreement?
But if they thought you had to honor something for them, you better believe they'd be taking you to court to make sure you honored what they thought they were owed.
Like the IRS. Pretty much.
It's the whole thing's sad. And
it's very sad.
What makes me so mad was this was something that, with everything going on with the rebranding and stuff, had they honored their agreement with this place, they could have, they would have gone to bat for them and been like, yeah, but, they had to change some things, but they still made sure that they kept, their agreement with us in place and they kept made in America. And this would have been helpful to them. And now they're out there touting, we still have the game guys that is now really, really different. And they're going on bragging about that, but they're leaving out the part where they talk about where they ran the whole company that started the game with them out of business to make sure they can get it made cheap ass in China.
Yeah, that is the most un-American thing. I mean, she needs, just for no other reason, the CEO needs to go for that shit because that is, Cracker Barrel is supposed to represent Americana, and that is one of the most un-American things.
Well, Cracker Barrel should do, but they're not gonna. They should buy back the equipment and let them reopen and make the games again because it's their fault.
No, they would buy the equipment. They would make the games themselves.
No, but I'm saying if they really wanted to win people over, win people back, besides the fact they need to fire that CEO. And I'm not just wanting to say someone needs canned. I will say there's some people that do, like Kathleen Kennedy, for some reason will not be fired. Yeah. And this woman clearly needs fired.
Yeah, she needs fired.
And they're still going to change these restaurants because they already have vendors and stuff in place to do it. I doubt they're going to cancel all those because the fees alone would be outrageous. But they need to fire this woman, and if they want to win people back, they need to walk back some of the changes, maybe not make them as to the level they're making them, and they need to bring back the food quality, and they need to do something like make it right with this family and this business they ran out to go to China.
That's insane. That's insane. They should be embrassed or whatever, however the hell they
embrassed. Yeah, they should
spell
be
it on there.
embrassed. And the thing is, it's like, I guess that makes them an ignoramus. But yeah, they should be embarrassed because they're trying to tout that we still have the peg game as a way to win people back, but they're not mentioning that how they still have the peg game.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what, Cracker Barrel, you want people to come back? You need to get rid of this woman. You need to walk back some of your changes, and you need to get this family back their equipment and their business. And, you know, I don't know if they'll even want to work with you at this point, but, you know, if you made the effort to get it back, people might be like, okay, well, you're actually wanting to fix it and do it right and make amends. Because right now, you're just looking worse and worse by the day, and we're here to cover it.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go, guys. This is what Cracker Barrel is. It doesn't matter if they put Uncle Herschel back on the logo or not. They've already done so much damage. It's very sad. We're going to wrap it up.
Wait, real quick. But again, if you have a business, you really, really, really need to make sure you're not just relying on one major client. So,
yeah.
Sorry. Now you can wrap it up.
Now we can wrap it up. There's your business lesson. Doesn't help these folks out now, though. But
no.
Anyway, please subscribe. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.